Hello guys, the Vesta's Longsword is here on Old School RuneScape. This means that a lot of you guys are probably wondering whether or not it's worth buying on your account. I've went ahead and used it on my Pure, my Zerk, and my friend's med level to get an idea of which accounts this thing is actually pretty good on and how it kind of stands up against the AGS. If you guys enjoyed this video and find it useful, feel free to leave a like and enjoy. Alright, so first things first, you have to obtain your VLS. So you basically have two methods. One, you can PK to a tier 10, which currently as it stands is near impossible. You have to get like over 100 kills without dying due to emblems just not upgrading. I think that we need to figure out the system better just as a community, and I think that they probably will make it a little bit easier to upgrade emblems in the future, so maybe by the time that you're watching this, it's actually not unrealistic to get yourself a tier 10, but currently tier 10s are really only coming into the game as boosters, so you actually need to get a tier 9 emblem and trade it in. However, people are mostly selling tier 10s. If you can buy a tier 9, that's totally good enough, but hi man. But really what you want to do is obtain a tier 10 most likely from a CC. This is pretty much the easiest way to get an emblem. It costs somewhere in the range of like 30-ish mil. This is 3 days after release. However, the price is probably going to be going down quite a bit, so if you're interested in obtaining the VLS, definitely just join a CC like this. I'm not going to vouch for any CC and say I'm not backed or anything like that, but I use the emblem area CC. You just use a rank as a middleman and obtain your tier 10. So yeah, if you can find a tier 9, that's great, but there's a good chance that you're going to have to buy a tier 10. After that, all you got to do is use 50 mil on your VLS to make it activated, and you're good to go. Alright, the first account I want to talk about is my Max Pure. So this account, I gave the VLS a run. The max hit, I think that I was able to actually, it was a 56, which is pretty low. It was hitting 50s very consistently, so it definitely has that going for it, was the consistency at which it could hit pretty high. You know, hitting in 50s, you could definitely get kills, especially when you combo it with the Gmaul. Something interesting I found using this account, I was bringing a regular Gmaul and just using the VLS spec into regular Gmaul and then waiting for that last spec to regen, because you only have 15% if you use that combo, so you have to wait like 1 minute of the fight to use that last VLS spec. Kind of a nice way to use it if you want to, but this account, a max of 56 is just nowhere near comparable to the 68 that an AGS can hit. Alright, the second account that I tested on was my Max Zerker. This account, I found that it was actually significantly better than on the Pure. I think it was a combination of fighting people with higher defense and also just having a higher max hit. I was able to hit in the low 60s, and the accuracy I had no trouble with at all. Obviously, it still hit zeros every once in a while, but, I mean, it just felt like every spec was pretty much a 50 plus. It just consistently would hit those 50 pluses, and at this bracket, those were just good enough kills to hit. I think people actually eat lower at this 99 bracket than people do on my Max Pure, which kind of makes sense. People eat pretty high on Pures because you can stack so big. But yeah, I would say it was definitely more powerful on this account. Whether it's really worth 80 mil, I don't know. It's probably not better than an AGS. However, I'm definitely enjoying using it on this account, and I can get a lot of kills. So I'd say it was probably worth it for me just for the enjoyment. However, it's definitely not more powerful than an AGS. So it's kind of a 50-50, up to you. Alright, the last account that I tested on was a Max Med. This is actually my friend's account, but it was quite nice. He has a Vernic Defender and Infernal Cape, so I was really able to use pretty much max gear on this account to PK with it reasonably that I would use in BH, you know? And it was really powerful. This was by far the best account to use it on, and it definitely competes with the AGS for how good it is. So obviously, because it only uses 25%, you're getting more specs, and I found that the max was about 65, maybe like 67 you could hit. It's kind of hard to say because you can't use it in the POH, so I can't actually test what the true max is, but just from my experience, I was able to hit in the mid-60s very consistently, and that's what would made it just so OP. It's pretty accurate to start with, and hitting mid-60s consistently, that's all you need to get kills when you're stacking it with the MSB. For a med level, I would say that the VLS was honestly worth the 80 mil. It might not be better than an AGS sometimes, but just for the amount of fun that I had with it, and it totally can compete with the AGS, I think that it was really worth it on this account, and it is by far the strongest on med levels out of any of the builds I've tried it on. So to recap real quick on my personal opinion, the Pure build, I really don't think that the VLS is actually going to have much use. I definitely wouldn't say that it's worth spending 70 or 80 mil on this weapon, unless you just have a ton of money to throw around just for fun. I think it's enjoyable, but that's about it. The Zerker is a bit of a different story. For me personally, I'd say it was worth the 70 to 80 mil. It's definitely not as strong as an AGS, but it is really powerful and you can get a lot of kills. So for me, that 70 to 80 mil is really worth it. For some people, I understand that that definitely is not the case, and that's kind of for you to decide. Lastly is the med level. I think that, as I said before, it's the strongest on this account. It's just its consistency to hit mid 60s is so powerful. You really don't need to hit much higher than a 65 to kill someone, and this thing can hit a 65 pretty often. I think that's where it overtakes the AGS, is its consistency to hit 60s. The AGS is definitely more powerful in the fact that it has a higher max hit. However, the VLS actually competes. I mean, having 4 specs that can all hit mid 60s, I felt like this account was actually very strong with the VLS. I don't know if I'd say it's more powerful than the AGS. That's pretty hard to do. However, on this account, I think it's definitely viable, and I think it was definitely worth the 70 to 80 mil. Alright, and that's where this video comes to a close. Hopefully this helped you guys on deciding whether or not to get the VLS on some of your accounts. If it did help you, feel free to leave a like. I would really appreciate it. And good luck out there, PKing with the VLS.